Welcome to episode 4 of Peoplekind Politics. I'm Matthew.
I'm Taylor.
Yeah, and today we're gonna be doing a Peoplekind news episode. That's where we talk about the news of this week, last week, or last year.
Well, last year is kind of. I feel like that was a while ago, you know?
Yeah, maybe so. I do want to just bring up something quickly that I saw. So, you all know who Jordan Peterson is, right?
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
A close reading of 20th century history indicates, as nothing else can, the horrors that accompany loss of faith in the idea of the individual.
He didn't die. I thought he was dead because he was kind of gone for a bit there, but...
God, I wish.
He's Canadian, so we can talk about him. So Jordan Peterson, I don't know if you're familiar with the Captain America comics, Taylor?
I mean, vaguely, yeah.
So there's been a new edition of, and this is all just off the top of my head, I just read this morning, I could be wrong, fact checkers, be on note, okay? So there's a Captain America comic that was written by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I know I got his name wrong, sorry about that. He's kind of an interesting figure in terms of American political conversations on race. I haven't really read too much of his stuff, so no hard opinions here. But he's been writing this, he wrote this version, or he made this version of Captain America comics featuring Red Skull. And Red Skull is this like Nazi like villain figure. So apparently he based the villain of Red Skull, his iteration of it, on Jordan Peterson.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What an honor for him. He must be so proud.
I would be honored. He found it amusing, I guess.
Okay.
He was making tweets about it, making memes as he does, apparently. Meme lord, Jordan Peterson. So what the thing is, so like the Red Skull guy, you know, his whole villainous plan is to recruit young white men on the internet and teach them his 10 rules for life and basically make them white supremacists.
Is the first one cleaning your room?
No, the first one is...
Oh, okay. Close.
Yeah,
no, that was a bad one.
Yeah. Yeah, his 10 rules for life. Yeah, so I just found that kind of interesting. I don't know. There's not much to say about it, but I mean,
that's cool. I don't know. I think Red Skull has been in the comics since the beginning in the 50s or when the fuck ever that was.
Yeah.
Honestly, the origins of Captain America, like the actual comics, pretty good. Based on what I've read on Wikipedia, you know?
Isn't Captain America
Nazis.
Just an American fascist?
Well, now.
A war criminal?
Now, definitely now. Yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like originally, you know, pretty cool dude. Anti-fascist. Based, again, on what I've read on Wikipedia. So, I stan OG Captain America. But yeah, no, now it's just... I mean, every Marvel movie is just, you know... imperialism and war and all of it is good and we love the army. It's my super hot and original take.
I think that the Marvel movies are mass-produced trash. That's my original take.
Really? This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah, I'm with Scorsese on this one. Marvel movies are dog shit. Horrible. Don't watch them.
They're entertaining. I mean,
yeah, if you're 5 years old.
I'm pretty sure you watched all of them, so
I did.
And you paid money to see them in theaters, so
I did. Because there's no blockbusters, there's nothing to I don't know, every other blockbuster is horrible. At least Marvel is horrible in an entertaining kind of way.
Yeah, right.
Endgame
Just admit you like it.
No, I will admit if I like it. I liked Infinity War. I know that's cringe, but I kind of liked it. Stupid as hell, but it was very entertaining. Endgame, holy shit, wanted to blow my brains out. It's like 5 hours long.
Yeah. No, I don't have strong opinions. I haven't seen every single one, but I did watch. We're not going to include this in the podcast also. People don't care.
Not if you say that.
People don't care about our Endgame and Thanos, Big Dick Thanos opinions. Nobody cares. Was Thanos right? That's the topic of today that we're discussing on Peoplekind Politics.
Well, you see, I read a New Yorker review, and I think Thanos is very Thomas Malthusian. if you ask me.
No, I don't like it. I wouldn't ask you.
Yeah. You know, that's a good thing about Thanos. He introduced people to the work of Thomas Malthus, dead guy.
Mm-hmm.
Was worried about overpopulation, which ended up actually not really being a problem because Western countries, everyone's getting old and no one's having babies. No one's fucking in the Western countries.
Yeah, I don't know. There's still eco-fascists out there, though. They find a way.
Yeah.
Watch out for them.
Fascism finds a way. Okay, so our first story today is about COVID. I know everyone really wants to hear more about COVID, so we're here to appeal to you, the listener, about your COVID questions.
Mm-hmm.
What is COVID-19, Taylor?
Virus. It's bad.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, what I'll be talking about is actually the third wave that's coming up in Canada. That's right, folks. The third wave is here. We're riding high. Fortunately, less people are dying because most of the threatened populations are vaccinated. Not most,
or
but
already dead. So.
Or, yeah, already dead. Right.
Are less people dying? I haven't really been keeping up super on the statistics. I know the variants are the biggest concern right now.
Yeah, less people dying. That was part of the research.
That's good.
ICUs, they're still filling up. You know, the case numbers are going to probably be much larger than they were for the second wave. Certainly the first wave, at least in BC and where else is it? You know, Ontario and Quebec always had pretty high numbers. Like in Manitoba, where we're from, we're left pretty unscathed, I would say.
I wouldn't
the
say
first
that.
wave.
Yeah, no, the first wave for sure. And I think in part due to CERB for sure. In part due because the first wave was the only time we had an actual lockdown. And CERB, I think.
And the real reason, not even coronavirus likes Manitoba.
Yeah, I hope it stays that way, but
joke.
I don't think it's gonna be bad. We're a little behind, but we'll catch up on that third wave. Good third wave.
Well, that's a funny thing because the focus of my story is that essentially these lockdowns that have been happening are kind of bizarre. So originally, the beginning of March, numbers were looking good. They're like, yeah, you can open up the patios. I know in BC, they kept the restaurants open for indoor dining the whole time. It just had to close at 10. So, yeah, so it's interesting. Like I was saying, they're promising to open things up again. Easter's around the corner. And then all of a sudden the numbers spike. And the thing is, people saw this coming. Like, the government's communication provincially on these matters is just atrocious. I don't understand. It's like they give you one day and they're like, oh yeah, all your reopening plans? Yeah, cancel that shit. We're going back into lockdown. I know in BC we're going into further lockdowns for 3 weeks. It will likely go a bit higher though, I imagine.
What exactly is that lockdown for BC?
Yeah, I mean retail's still open. Indoor dining's canceled. Indoor events are canceled. Like no going to church, no going to the gym.
Still school, I assume.
No going to places of worship.
People are still working in factories.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? This is what I want to talk about. So what's funny so the whole idea with closing down retail so that people aren't, congregating in malls, stores, whatever, and everyone buys from Amazon now. I don't. Fuck Amazon. Another hot original take.
It's convenient, Got that
yeah, but your convenience
delivery.
is causing people to die because Amazon, well, it's Amazon's fault. Amazon's fault, not yours, but they're actually not releasing all of their numbers in their warehouses, especially in Ontario. They released numbers in Brampton. And I think recently, 100 people got infected.
Yeah, they had to shut down the whole factory, didn't they? Or send
or distribution
everybody.
Center, whatever. Yeah,
they sent everybody home, and it had gotten to that point. Is the thing it got that bad? Yeah.
Yeah. So, the point is that we're closing down the wrong things. If you want to close down the diners, restaurants, bars, theaters, malls, whatever, fine. But if you're keeping open the workplaces, especially these fucking Amazon places where they're basically, concentration camps for poor people, yeah, you're gonna get people sick, and the numbers keep rising up, and that's partly due to schools being open as well. I know they're closing down in Ontario again.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're targeting things that I guess should be shut down, perhaps. I don't know. There is some argumentation there. Yeah, so, the fact that, Amazon is giving us preferential treatment,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of gross, People need their groceries, people need certain things, commodities, You can do pickup at your local retail store, but having Amazon be able to keep working their employees to death, literally to death in this case, well, actually, no. Literally to death in all cases because working there is apparently very horrible and low paying and incredibly stressful.
Mm-hmm.
But now they have to worry about COVID.
Yeah, and I'll say it's not just Amazon factories. I would say, factories in general. I know we've seen a lot of outbreaks in like meatpacking facilities, for example. And yeah, the people working these jobs, it's low wage, you're probably marginalized. You need to work to survive, and your employer isn't going to pay you to go home sick. The government isn't going to pay you to stay home, and the government isn't going to shut it down because they don't care. And it's not so much, it's not that they don't care on a personal level. It's that they won't prioritize shutting down these factories as a policy because of the role it plays in the economy.
Yeah, you can shut down the mom and pop diner, no problems there. But these big, conglomerations, these corporations, they're allowed to persist. The numbers be damned.
Yeah, and they continue to. Yeah, we've seen it throughout the entire country. The thing with lockdowns is it's not we're picking and choosing what to lock down. If you want to lock down, you should do a serious lockdown. Everything. Well,
yeah, so we have a quote here from Legault. Again, I don't have his first name written down, but he's the premier of Quebec. And he said in a recent press conference, "We've had no choice but to lock down, reopen, lock down, reopen again. The idea is to try to find a balance. When we lock down, it's to protect people's physical health. When we reopen, it's to help their mental health." So
yeah. I
don't know, that approach just seems bad. Like, it seems like the mental health thing, if we did a serious lockdown, if we seriously shut everything down, made sure people were paid and compensated, made sure that, frontline workers, healthcare workers were taken care of, this wouldn't be the problem. But this, halting, start, stop thing is causing me some mental distress, man. And it's making this thing go on for way longer than it should. I don't know.
No, absolutely. And I think that's the thing a lot of people don't realize because we kind of, and there has been a lot of talk around the impacts on our mental health, which of course, yeah, it's fucked up, especially when it is on and off. But the thing is, like you said, if we did a proper, actual, serious lockdown and got to COVID zero, which should be our goal, but, from many of the premiers, I know Kenny said the other day, and like the policies he's put forward, basically they're like, we're working towards herd immunity. This is always going to be here. We just have to get through it. And that's how they're operating.
They're dying. Let them die.
So we will literally have these on and off lockdowns, and
until
it won't stop.
Time.
Yeah, like unless we do something, but what can we do, right? That's a bigger conversation.
Yeah, I won't go too much further into this because there's a lot to talk about. But it's pretty wild, and it's making a lot of business owners very frustrated, understandably so. There's a good example here. And look, no one likes lockdowns, and I personally find it kind of gross when people are like, "Oh, I love lockdowns. I'm able to get so much stuff. So many books I can read now. And I'm knitting. I'm playing the ukulele.
Yeah. I feel like that was very much a thing.
I'm having sex with my partner.
Oh.
It's great."
Wow, imagine. Totally relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that was more
we
of
don't look at each other anymore because we hate each other because we've been having to see each other every fucking day of every fucking second of, and I hate them and I just can't stand them. But you know what? I love lockdowns. Lockdowns are great.
Yeah.
I was play acting there.
Okay. Yeah, I figured. Yeah. I was just gonna say. I feel like I see less of that sentiment now, though. Like at the beginning of the pandemic, for sure. It's like, look at all these hobbies I'm doing.
Yeah.
Which I think that's good. I think
if you're lucky and privileged enough to have these hobbies that you can do.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, totally. Good point.
Maybe if you're a lonely Redditor who doesn't
Yeah,
care
there you
about
go.
socialization, whatever, fine. Have fun, making Legos. Legos is cool, I guess, if you're a child. I don't know.
That's where you really get offensive when you
See,
start
I just sound like an old man
slandering the
whenever I talk
Legos.
about things that people like. Like what you like, it's fine. I don't know. But yeah, so my whole point is that lockdowns suck, but they are necessary, unfortunately. The vaccination thing is going pretty bad. Not only are vaccines not coming in as much as we would like, but they're actually having problems getting people to take the vaccines, and that's for numerous reasons. Not only anti-vaxxings, propaganda, whatever, but also just people's disinclinations, fears, concerns.
Yeah.
They're busy. They can't find a sitter.
Yeah, for me, I'm more inclined to point to the infrastructure issues, especially in Ontario, too. I don't know. It's fucked up everywhere. Everyone's doing a terrible job. Nobody knows how to get these vaccines.
Right.
It's just
No,
a
that's
mess.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the appointments aren't being filled, not necessarily because people are scared of them, though that is also true, but also because of the communication job they're doing. Like, I don't know if I'm eligible to get a vaccine yet. The messaging on it's kind of weird. It's like, yeah, if you're 55, left-handed, blind in one eye,
Right.
and you're a Gemini, you can come down and get a vaccine on Saturdays and Tuesdays. It's like, what? No, just, I don't know.
Yeah, not a fan of the rollout so far, I will say. That anyone's doing. It's all trash.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to play a video, and this is from a restaurant in Kitsilano. Kits, it's a Vancouver neighborhood. And there's a restaurant called Corduroy Restaurant that went viral earlier this week for some shenanigans. Health inspectors. So basically, on the 29th of March, they ordered restaurants to shut indoor dining down. They could still do patios, whatever. Corduroy Restaurant's like, yeah, no, that's cool. We're still going to do indoor dining. And so in this video that we're going to show, you can see, or that we're going to play, you're going to see like a crowded restaurant. Mostly white people, of course, because white people are always doing this shit. and these two health inspectors come in there and they're like, yeah, you can't be open right now. And they have something to say to them. So we'll play that now.
So we just got Philo and health inspector here.
I am a woman and I follow the common law, so you have no jurisdiction over me. But you see the signs on the door there, so no trespass. Okay, can you understand what you're doing here? You're trespassing over private property. You don't agree? Okay. All right.
Well, we are. You're going to ask to leave.
Get up!
Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up!
All right, so that was that was a fun video. Yelling "get out" at them like that. I think they behaved like reasonable, responsible adults.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I guess the health inspector has to go there, but like, what are they expecting to happen when you go to somebody who's actively going against lockdown orders? Like, is it just policy to go down there and be like, hey, you shouldn't do this, and then get booed out of the room? Or
well, what you should do is you should give them tickets. You should be like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah, right,
I'm going to count
tickets.
down from 3. If you're not allowed up here, you're all getting tickets.
Okay, so did anybody get tickets there? Like the owners or
Nope, no one
Well,
no one was ticketed.
not-
The owners, I will say about the video too, I love the woman's response to the officers. I am a woman. That's
Yes, queen.
a classic feminist approach to
You go, girl.
breaking COVID restrictions.
Yeah, that's how you do
This
it.
is a true third wave feminism.
Oh my
it's
god,
the third
third
wave.
wave.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. That's a good
No,
one.
it's not. Yeah. All right. So their business licenses, its business license was suspended. The owner was like, "Yeah, we're still gonna reopen Tuesday after we get our stuff sorted out, more food ordered in." I looked on their Twitter. The restaurant is closed.
Tragic.
I don't know if they like call the SWAT team the next time that happens, or the Canadian equivalent of SWAT. I don't know what would happen. So I guess she was like, "Yeah, this is a fight that doesn't need to be fought anymore. Everyone hates me now. There are the true loyalists, the true COVID deniers out there that are going to go and have a good time, but that's probably not enough to keep a business afloat." But I will say, and this is going to end this segment here, unless Taylor had more to say, but just essentially, I feel bad for this woman in part because literally every restaurant in Vancouver and BC was promised, and they're like, hey, yeah, you can start to reopen, and then with 1 day's notice, they're like, yeah, we're closing it all down. Sure, patios are open, but not everyone can do a patio. And I read a lot of comments online, and people were like, well, weren't the warning signs clear? Obviously, we're going to go back into a lockdown again. It's like, no, it's not our responsibility to read the tea leaves like that. It's the government's responsibility to say, hey, we're going to shut you guys down. This whole like, you're good. No, you're not. Go, stop.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's hard for me to feel bad for what is essentially a small capitalist. Fuck you if you own a business. You can cut this out. It's too hashtag radical. But
it's too hashtag stupid.
I disagree.
Ooh, shots fired. I don't know. I know it's cool on the left to hate small business people, and a lot of small business people, and I've worked for small business people. They're fucking idiots. A lot of them are real pieces of shit. But I like to think of myself as a small business person with this podcast.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh God, what have I? What have I done? What?
You're gonna have to leave the podcast
Where
now.
am
You're
I
a hypocrite.
Can't do this. Yeah, no, it's not so much about hating them, but yeah, I do agree the communication from the government should be better, and absolutely, small businesses have gotten super fucked, especially the restaurants. Like I will say, compared to all the other businesses, I feel like they do the most to follow restrictions, installing the plexiglass. You go in there, they're wiping shit down. Who knows how much money they had to spend on all of those installations. So in that sense, I mean, absolutely, you can't deny they are fucked repeatedly. Like this entire past year, they're always the first to get shut down. The government is barely doing anything to support them when literally every leader will be like, our economy, or no, the backbone of our economy is built on, what the fuck do they say? Small businesses, we love them, but also we're not going to do anything to support them. We're just saying this to look good. And like,
but we will support Amazon.
Yeah, it's trash.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
Anyways, the approach to the circuit breaker lockdowns, it's stupid. The approach to lockdowns and social distancing, it's stupid in the sense that it doesn't work because they're not being followed. It's just weird, and this is what spurs a lot of people on to be like, yeah, COVID, like lockdowns are stupid because they don't work, and
they're not wrong, right? Like, yeah, it's not working right now, and it is bad for our mental health and the small businesses and everybody who's impacted, which is all of us. Every time we go through this cycle, like, what is this?
And I'm a bartender, folks, so like I personally, So I get a little heated. I'm like, okay, yeah, great. No tips for another week. Awesome. Super love that. Yeah. But I think they'll end this story.
All right. So, I never know how to start these things. Hey, Matthew.
What?
You hear the good news?
Jesus Christ?
No.
The good news? No, sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean that's true. No, the good news about the Alberta curriculum. Woo!
I do love going to elementary schools, so...
It's true. I didn't say what the ages were, but you knew already.
I did.
You know.
I peeked at the notes.
It is for elementary school. Yeah. So, this was a thing that happened recently, and I feel like I found out about it pretty much the day of, the Twitter feed going wild. But... So, March 29th, 2021, the UCP revealed very proudly, so...
What's the UCP?
Oh, God, it's the United Conservative Party of Alberta, led by Jason Kenney, the Premier of Alberta. Are you sad? I'm
on the side
now?
of the audience. I just want to know.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're listening and you don't know who the UCP is, fuck you. No, I'm not saying that. Yeah, so the United Conservative Party of Alberta revealed their draft curriculum for kindergarten to grade 6 on March 29th. And it's pretty bad. So, yeah, there's quite a few things with it. I mean, one of the big things they were pushing is that they are going to overhaul this thing to teach essential knowledge and skills and those nuts and bolts that we as a society really need. which I mean, sounds pretty good, right? Am I right?
I love learning the nuts and bolts. Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah, it's good stuff. We need the nuts and bolts. So that's kind of what they're pushing it as. Though apparently, and I didn't even know this, but the previous curriculum is like pretty highly regarded, and it's like referred to by other countries as like a model for like K to grade 6 education. So I'm not really sure where they're coming from on this. I mean, it's a conservative party. They do bad things. But yeah, so that's the setup. Again, you know, we're teaching the essentials. And what is more essential than learning facts, Matthew? Name one thing that is more essential than facts.
Being really, really, really ridiculously good looking?
No, wrong. There
Okay.
is nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a big overhaul. You know, they do social studies, they do economics vaguely, but it's mostly the history that they really came out with, swinging like a lot of detail. And by detail, I mean things like explicitly copied from Wikipedia. Yeah, and to be fair, I don't think it was word for word. I think they swapped one or two words, which is how a true, what do you call it? Plagiarist? No.
Yeah, it's a classic plagiarist move. You know,
Yes.
you get the thesaurus out, make some weird changes. You know,
Yeah.
instead of run, you say gallop. Instead of talk, you say mutter. You know, synonyms.
Yeah, it's like they will never know. But yeah, people did know, so it's very disjointed. So yeah, there's Wikipedia. They also directly copied from a 1976 article by Howard Palmer. I don't know who that is.
Palmer,
but it's like,
I hardly know her.
oh no. We're just gonna move past that. The point is, they were saying, so some of after kind of the outrage happened, and I guess I should give specific examples. So
Yeah.
the big thing with this is that, again, it's focused on basically throwing out not random, but throwing out facts for these kids to learn. And it's like at age 7, you're gonna learn about, 1 minute, let me find, you're gonna learn about Judaism, Christianity, and
Did
Islam.
you say Judaism?
Judaism. How do you say it?
Judaism. Yeah.
Judaism.
Judaism is
Is it different?
yeah, the
Well, that's
followers
fine.
of Judith Butler.
Oh.
It's, theology.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. No,
or Judge Judy. Yeah.
No, you're not allowed to make a joke, so you can keep in my mispronunciation. Okay. Listen. In grade 2 history, and how you're 7? You're 7.
So wait, you're learning about Judaism and different religions at 7 years old.
Yes, you're learning
All right.
about different. You're also learning about myths and legends from Greece, China, and Africa. You're learning about.
This seems good.
Ancient
It seems very
Greece.
woke.
You're learning about the following great thinkers, including Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. What else?
No,
Middle
this is good. You should learn about
Ages,
philosophy when you're 7 years old.
Origins
And taxes.
of common law, encounters with other worlds, Marco Polo, talking about the Black Death and its impact. Yeah, so that's what you're learning in grade 2. Thoughts, Matthew? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, that'd be so cool if I had to learn about the Black Death
Shut the
when
fuck
I was
up. You're 7
in
years
grade
old.
2.
You would not give a
Yeah,
fuck.
7-year-olds love death. 7-year-old boys love death and plagues and Judaism
Yeah. See, now you're...
and Socrates. Well, actually, Socrates loved 7-year-old boys. Or
Oh
was that
no,
Plato?
did he? I don't...
He's Greek, of course.
Oh no. The point is,
Yeah.
like, this is just the history they're supposed to learn for grade 2, and like, it's not really something you can comprehend as a 7-year-old, in my opinion. Not to call kids stupid, but
Although you kind of are.
I'm kind of calling them stupid. I just don't really see the purpose. I mean, I understand the purpose of learning about these things, not so much though when you're literally 7 years old.
Yeah, I didn't learn about Socrates until I was 23.
Yeah, there you go. And yeah, that's just one example of one little fraction of what the curriculum was, but basically it's just like this. The entire thing.
Mhm.
It doesn't really make sense for the age group. It doesn't make sense in terms of analysis. A lot of it is just listing facts. Like usually curriculum is supposed to be a bit more guided, but it's like they need to learn this thing and that's it. And then they need to explain. I can't remember. There was like a word they used throughout, but they're very focused on like that you're teaching them facts and that they're kind of parroting them back to you, which as we know is the best
Yeah.
way to learn.
This pedagogy is very old-fashioned,
Mhm.
and we know for a fact that doesn't work. I mean, yeah, having kids like run around in circles and like painting on the walls and each other and, you know, screaming out lyrics to U2, you know, what they do in like what are those schools called? Monterey schools? What are they called?
Don't ask me. I do not know.
Yeah, cut it. I don't know. I'm revealing myself as ignorant.
Yeah, you can't keep
Those
that
schools
in.
where like you can just do shit, where they're like, yeah, just do what you want, and then you can,
right.
yeah, Monterey school,
Yeah.
Stingray schools, Manta Ray
Don't know.
schools. Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyways,
Montessori school.
yeah. So, what else is in this curriculum? Because so far I'm loving it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just kind of hit on that point you just made, that it's very old and like we know this doesn't work. We know this isn't the best way to teach or the best way to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I would recommend if people are interested in reading more specific critiques, what's her name? Carla Peck, who is I don't know, just if you're interested, Carla Peck, she has a blog, a WordPress. She wrote an analysis of the draft, and one of the things she makes the point of is that if you really want these kids to develop an understanding of the past, like it's not just feeding them facts and then giving them a test and they write it back and that's their understanding. We should probably be teaching critical thinking. Isn't that nice? The point is, we want these kids to learn. We want them to be able to think about things and think about how to think about them instead of just putting it back on paper and then immediately forgetting it. That's my experience with memorizing things anyways, so.
And that was my entire experience through K to 12, man. I don't remember anything.
Me neither. It was useless. Throw it in the trash.
If we had learned about Plato in his cave, I would have remembered that shit. That would have been great.
Especially as a 7-year-old. Like, that's
Of course.
the peak. It was actually
of course.
leaked. The draft curriculum, an earlier version, was leaked in like October 2020, and there was no mention of Indigenous peoples. So they went and added that in, but again, it's all very surface level, all very much facts, and also some of it is incorrect. I should also note, like a decent amount of the history stuff is just wrong and like doesn't make sense. So that's also a concern. And really, I think we can at least say there's one good thing from this.
Okay.
And that is that we are teaching kids about the fine arts, specifically jazz. How do you feel about jazz, Matthew?
The only time I listen to jazz is in an elevator or when I'm waiting for the CRA to get back to me. Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
So I hate
so
jazz.
much.
I have bad connotations
Actually,
for jazz.
same. Now that's not jazz. Don't do jazz like this. How dare you?
No, jazz kind of sucks. I'm not gonna pretend to like it.
That's fair.
I like the jazz in the movie Whiplash. That's pretty cool.
That was a good movie.
It's a fantastic
okay.
film. Check it out, folks. Check out Whiplash, 2014's Whiplash.
Thanks, Whiplash, for sponsoring this podcast. Listen, where I was going with this is that finally children get to learn about the two icons, the two legends, the pioneers of jazz, Glenn Miller and Mart Kenny.
Miller? I barely...
No,
sorry.
don't you... How dare you. Mart Kenny. Does that last name ring a bell?
What's his first name? Mart?
Mart.
His name's Mart?
Yeah, it's just Mart. I don't know. Leave him alone. He's like dead,
Mart.
probably.
It's not a name. It's
also
not a real
old.
name.
Listen, this
So
man.
So Mart Kenny.
Yep,
Mart Kenny.
Kenny. Yeah, ring a bell.
Ooh, Kenny.
That's right.
Hmm.
That's right. This man is Jason Kenny's grandfather. And he is just some white dude. And also Glenn Miller is also some white dude, which is obviously the best representation we could expect in jazz.
Yeah, white people made jazz. That's what I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what all these kids are gonna know too. So we can rest easy knowing that. But yeah, this is just kind of a bizarre thing.
Yeah. No, it's pretty gross.
He's like, Kenny, all these years since, like, I think there was 2006 in a profile for McLean's, Kenny is talking about his grandfather. This is like, what, 15 years ago? This is what his entire career has been working towards. Finally, his grandfather is in the history books where he belongs. And he was a household name for most Canadians in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. So,
Yeah,
the
all
more you
200
know.
of us.
Yeah, it's just, if that doesn't kind of represent what this curriculum is, I don't know what does. It's a mess.
See, what this reminds me of is like, someone bragging to you, or like, yeah, like my uncle, he one time met a friend who one time got an autograph from Radiohead at Walmart. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like it almost happened to you.
Right? Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, it's uncle bragging,
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like my dad can beat up your dad.
And it's like my uncle worked at Nintendo. Classic. Works at. Fuck. And also, do people usually say their dad? I don't know. I wasn't even, like, present then. Listen, we're getting off track. Okay, here's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, we're talking about fine arts here, of course. These are grade 6 kids, so they can truly comprehend the nuance of fine arts. And
Sure.
so
What
what's
is
going
art?
on
Easy
here
question.
is that every student needs to learn jazz era, quote, dances. I don't know what any of these are, like Lindy Hop, the jive,
Sure.
the jitterbug. Actually, I do know
the jive.
those.
You don't know the jive?
I do.
Come on.
And the boogie woogie. So
Ooh.
that's the context of this. This is not not Canadian specific. This is just, again, one of the most iconic, most memorable figures in jazz. And we need to teach the kids. So there you go.
Good job, Kenny.
Yeah, thank you, Kenny, again, for really getting that essential knowledge out there. And that's what this curriculum is about. It's about the essential knowledge and skills.
And for you folks out there, we're gonna play a little Mart Kenny.
I left Alberta where the weather is sunny to come down east to make a lot of money.
But I can hardly wait
to open up the gate out where my honey lives. When I get back to Calgary, she's gonna marry me back in Calgary. Oh, what a time there's gonna be in the dropping, stomping, clomping, roping, sloping, toting, rootin', tootin', stampede down. Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-oh.
And then what the fuck? Okay, this is Jason Kenny in 2015, a tweet saying, stumbled across a fun song written by my grandmother, Norma Locke, and recorded by Mart Kenny. Jason, you didn't stumble across this in 2015.
He desperately searched for it.
Yeah, this has been your entire career. This is what it's come to. It's stumbled across. Okay.
Yeah, I accidentally stumbled onto your Facebook page and liked all of your profile pictures. I'm sorry, I don't know how that happened.
3 a.m. Oops. Weird.
And I left comments saying, hot.
Gross.
All right, that was a great story.
Yeah, closing thoughts on the curriculum. Yeah.
Good job, Kenny.
Yeah.
You're my favorite. I still have a bit of a crush on you because in that McLean's magazine cover, look good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I would say out of
Smoldering.
them, yeah, he was the best. So, good on you, Kenny.
Yeah, compared to Pallister's
Ugh.
Frankenstein face.
I don't want to think about it.
Bring that
It's
back.
in my dreams every night.
Check out our second episode about the resistance.
Yeah, the resistance, the war room, all that good stuff. If you haven't listened, you're missing out.
All right, so that was a fun story with Kenny. We're going to hit the music, and we'll be right back after these tunes. And we're back. Okay, folks, I'm going to have to issue a poop warning. Don't you hate it when you're listening to your favorite podcast and they start getting a little blue? They start talking about things that make your stomach churn and get kind of grossed out. I hate it. Makes me sick. So here's your poop warning. We're going to be talking about poop in our next story. Taylor, are you ready? Have you put down your bowl of cereal?
Yeah,
Cereal?
I'm ready.
I would say
Cereal. I did put down my
Cereal.
bowl of cereal. Thank you.
Whatever.
Thank you for your concern.
Okay, so this is a story in Penticton, a town, a city in BC, and
Wait,
it concerns...
Is it a town or a city? Which
Doesn't
one
fucking
is it?
matter.
I'm just saying, you listed two separate classifications there. And
A lot of towns call
deserve
themselves-
to know. Well,
A lot of towns call themselves cities, and it's always a joke.
Oh,
Like
yeah. A
Brand,
lot of
or
towns are
Steinbach in
delusional.
Manitoba. Yeah, we have 15 people and a cow. We're a city. No, you're not. You're a
No, they
liar.
aren't.
Yeah. So Penticton in BC, there's a restaurant owner. He runs or owns a White Spot location. White Spot, for you non-BC folks, shittiest restaurant on earth.
Oh, no.
We have one here, like nearby my house, and I go there because it's close by. But it's food's bad, beer's bad, overpriced. It's a family restaurant. Family restaurants are horrible. Yeah, don't like it. But
Great.
Al Mansfield, the owner of this White Spot in Penticton, he grew frustrated by the amount of human feces that was showing up on his sidewalk outside his store, his restaurant. And I gotta agree, if I see some human feces on my sidewalk, I'm not impressed.
I mean, yeah.
How do you feel about that, Taylor?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, feces
Mhm.
in general. I'm also not impressed with just any feces, honestly. Anti-feces zone right now, people.
This is an anti-poop podcast. Pooping is gross and it's bad, and don't do it.
Yeah, that's us.
Anyways. So Al Mansfield, he sees this human feces on his sidewalk. He's like, no, that's gross. So he takes a bucket, fills it
Okay.
with dog feces. The details of this...
Wait, where is he getting these feces? Is it
A s-
like his dog or?
Well, that's the thing. The picture's like... So he takes a bucket of dog shit, throws it in front of the local homeless shelter that's nearby, and then leaves it. And if you look at the picture, it's a lot of shit. Like, it's a lot. I don't know how much dogs poop, but it seems excessive. Like, he seems like he was like, scooting a bucket underneath his dog every time the dog's like...
Do we have confirmation that he has a dog?
No, I tried searching for more details because I needed to know. Like, I want to know his methodology.
But what I'm trying to say is, what if he doesn't have a dog?
Oh, yeah. So he's just
See?
going around the park and
Yeah.
finding dog shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, if that's the way he did it, I mean, this is a premeditated bucket of shit. He's thought about it a long time. This is first degree, folks. This is first degree shit dumping. So
Yeah. And
Okay.
I will say pretty bad, in my opinion. Not a
Right.
good move.
yeah, so I mean, as funny as a bucket of dog shit is, it's also incredibly stupid and mean-spirited. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so here's the thing, folks. All right, I got a small bladder. I'm walking downtown. I gotta pee. It happens to the best of us. The urge hits. You go inside a restaurant. With COVID, every bathroom's like closed. No, or you have to buy something. So
Well, even before COVID, like I know the
Yeah.
restaurant I worked at, it's like, and I always felt really bad. And sometimes I would let people, and then my boss would be like, you really just let that woman and her child go to the bathroom? No, usually that was fine. But, like, yeah, turning people down from what's essential, in my opinion, is quite common in that industry.
Yeah. No, it's really annoying. I mean, the thing is, it is like, I live in Vancouver, right? There's a huge homeless population here, and the public washrooms, by and large, like the government run or park run ones, usually have people living in them, which maybe we should address that in a very humane way, and like give people places to actually live and help them out in community services. Yeah. So I'm not blaming people for living in bathrooms, but the whole like turning people away from bathrooms and stuff, it's so annoying. And then they put the fucking locks on the doors. You have to go up to the counter and you're like,
right.
Yeah, I need to take a big shit. And they're like, okay. And then they press a button. You hit. It's like when you go to your friend's car door and you go to open the door and they go to unlock it at the same time and it gets stuck and it's like, fuck.
Devastating.
Exactly the same case here, They hit the button at the wrong time. You're too slow on the draw. There's someone already in there. Just get rid of those things. Let people shit and pee wherever they want to, man.
Yeah.
If they want to take a dump on the front counter, just let them.
Yeah.
Right. So, I understand it's annoying to find human feces on the sidewalk, but it's a bit of a tough and heartless reaction to dump dog shit in front of a homeless shelter. Interestingly enough, about Penticton, it's a smaller town, smaller city, but it's quite picturesque, and the housing prices there are rising up. Last month, the city council voted to cut funding to an emergency housing shelter that was going to be set up in the city. And at this point, there's 120 people who are living homeless, estimated in the city. And there aren't enough beds, there aren't enough shelters, supportive housing to keep them safe and warm and protected. So,
yeah.
The fact that the city council voted against it, yeah.
Why?
They're like, because they're heartless bastards. And because a lot of people who aren't used to, I guess, reality are like, oh my God, a homeless person? What if they ask me for money or something? What if they look at my direction? And, yeah, I've lived downtown. I've lived in the core. Yeah, it can be much sometimes, but it's yeah. The attitude towards homeless people is disgusting, honestly, and the city council really showed that there with their canceling of this emergency homeless shelter, because the need is high. I mean, yeah. No, So this restaurant owner, Al Mansfield, he wrote a letter of apology to the shelter.
Wow.
And, I read it. It's pretty standard, like, yeah, that was an inexcusable thing to do.
Okay.
Which is like, yeah, it sure is.
Yeah. Maybe shouldn't have done it. Maybe. Yeah, that's a real shitty thing to do, but like, genuinely.
You see what you did there?
I do. That's why I kind of said it in a slightly more, I don't know, coy tone than usual. I knew what I was doing. I just need
to give your sarcasm a boost. I need to put the S or the slash S or the slash S in front of what you say.
I mean, that's what makes it
You're always
funny.
sarcastic.
Yeah, that's true. If I just put like slash S at the end of everything I say, then it will be funny and gotten by the public. Good point.
Yeah, nothing makes a joke funnier than pointing it out.
Exactly. But yeah, not a fan of this. The vote by the city council is incomprehensible to me.
But, it's as you said, it's a shitty story. I do find it kind of funny, but also there's a lot here to critique and a lot here to build off of and talk about, which we won't do because we have our final story to get to. All
right. So we have one more story, and it's a bit bigger one. Big news for the Canadian left. It's here. The moment you've been waiting for. The 2021 NDP convention. Matthew,
boy.
How hype are you?
I was up all night like 3 months ago trying to like buy tickets for it. I kept hitting, Yeah, I kept hitting refresh over and over again, just like cross my fingers if I get like 2 tickets to the NDP conference to see Jagmeet Singh and whoever else is in the NDP party. I don't know.
Yeah, mostly him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is happening. Well, we're recording this on the 8th.
No.
We need to.
We're recording this live as you listen. We're talking into the microphones. Don't pull back the curtain.
No, I'm getting meta. What the fuck?
Meta.
I'm getting meta. Specifically because the convention is from the 9th to the 11th, and it has not happened yet. So I'm not going to be able to comment on, the actual votes, what gets passed by all those delegates. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Are you a delegate, Taylor?
No. And it's interesting.
I am.
No, you're not. You're not a delegate. Nice try. Yeah, you paid you got your $150 ticket. Good for you, man.
Yeah, front row seats. I get the backstage pass to meet
Zoom.
Jagmeet Singh.
Yeah, in a fucking Zoom conference for $150. But
is it actually that much?
For a standard ticket, but if you're unwaged or a youth member, which I think is 25 and under, it's $99. So
wow, so progressive. Good
I know,
job, NDP.
Extremely accessible.
Well, let me say this. The NDP almost went broke like a year ago or 2 years ago, I think. I remember reading that. The federal party almost went broke.
Oh, yeah. Is that why they email me like 3 times a day for donations?
Yeah.
Like, Taylor, we need you.
Taylor, hey, how's your wallet looking? It's looking pretty thick there. Might slip me a couple dollars,
Yeah.
Please, God.
That's them. We know it's COVID, but
yeah, every time I'm downtown, Jagmeet Singh comes up to me like with a cup in his hand,
God.
Please
slip a couple hundreds. It's tax deductible, please.
If you can do 1,000, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless NDP.
Yeah, I think I finally unsubscribed to those emails because I was like, why am I even? I just opened these and they're like, we see you haven't donated this year. I've never donated also, but they're like, why don't you change 24 hours to meet our goal? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But okay, we're not here to trash the NDP in general.
Sure we are.
Though maybe a little bit.
We know what the NDP is against, but we don't know what they're for, and it's very frustrating.
But we're here to talk about the convention, which again hasn't happened yet. But I wanted to, kind of go over some of the resolutions proposed, all 480.
We're going through every single one,
yeah,
alphabetical order.
We are reading all of the whereas and be it resolved at that, fuck, whatever, all that very important and official shit. No, we're not. But I just want to talk about it. I think it's important.
The highlight reel.
The highlight reel, what as leftists should we support out of these resolutions? I mean, can we actually expect them to get passed? Is there any point in supporting the NDP at this point? I don't know. Let's talk about it. But first, I actually kind of want to talk about, what the convention is and how it works. Because I wasn't even that sure until I looked it up, today. But, okay. So these conventions, I think the last time...
Are these all party conventions or just the NDPs?
This is explicitly for the NDP that I was reading, though I assume it's similar for other parties. But basically how it works, so this is their convention to go over policies, the proposals, the resolutions that members propose. But the way it works is that, okay, so anybody can be a member of the NDP, right? I'm pretty sure that's how it works. You can register to be a member of a party.
Sure.
You just have to acknowledge that you aren't a member of any other parties, and you pay a certain amount per year. I wouldn't know. I'm not a member.
I'm a member of all the parties.
That is
just
illegal.
For fun, just for the emails.
You can't do this. They will find you. They heard.
I just love
they're listening.
Federal parties.
Yeah, every single one. Give me those emails. So to be a member, you just, you sign up, you pay a certain amount, you agree, this is my party, and that's it. And that's for the federal parties.
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. You know?
I don't. What song is that? Who? What's the artist?
You would cry too if it happened to you.
This isn't clarifying anything for me. Who?
I don't know the name of the song.
Who's
I just
the
know
artist?
the lyrics. I don't know.
What
It's from
year?
the 80s, I think.
What genre?
83. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Don't.
You've never heard of this song before? What's wrong with you?
Well, maybe you're just not doing it justice. I don't know.
Probably not. This isn't TikTok, I'm not like belting out tunes like after like 5 takes.
Is that what they do on TikTok? Now I know.
They sing in TikToks, right? That's
well,
their big
no,
thing.
I think it's that they lip sync, actually.
No, whatever. I don't know TikTok.
Fucking old man over here. But as I was saying, so you're a member of the NDP. Wherever you live, there is an electoral district association or an EDA based on, your whatever district you fall under. You following me? Okay.
Yeah.
And then that EDA decides, first of all, which resolutions will be submitted to the convention. So you, as a member, submit what you want to be a resolution to the EDA, but the EDA decides. If you're putting forward something as a resolution, it doesn't mean necessarily that it'll get acknowledged or even discussed at the convention. Okay. So we got the EDA. But also, just because you're an NDP member, that doesn't mean you're all that. The EDA actually has to assign, or actually no, how it works is each EDA is assigned a certain number of delegates, and I assume that's based on like population size or something like that, proportional. And then the EDA selects delegates from within their membership pool to attend the convention and cast votes. So just because you're a member of the NDP doesn't mean that you can attend. The EDA actually has to choose you to attend.
Well, if you remember the 2011 Orange Wave, where NDP members were voted quite hugely in the election, a lot of the MPs that were actually made into the House of Commons were completely inexperienced. I don't know if you remember this.
I was in the womb at that time still, so no, I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. You're not even Gen Z. You're like the generation above that.
How dare you?
Taylor's 13 years old.
Confirmed 13 years old. Yes.
No, but like, yeah, essentially a bunch of like, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but, the Orange Wave brought in a bunch of MPs that were just kind of like, yeah, I really didn't think I'd win this one, but I guess I'm an MP now? What does that stand for? Member of public? I don't know.
Close enough.
This is just like my vague memory of it. I think this was the 2011 election when this happened. Anyways.
Yeah,
continue on.
That sounds accurate. I mean, it's Layton's impact, and one of these days we will talk about him.
Yep.
Jack Layton, rest in peace. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, again, if you are a delegate and you do go to this, you get to vote on stuff. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. You're participating in a democracy, sort of. So, that's something, But, yeah, I agree. The NDP is not as good as we would like. They have been shifting ever more neoliberal for years, very centrist, like you said. They're supposed to be.
Which is so frustrating, because if you speak to any like left-leaning person in your life, a lot of them, especially if they're not very well informed, will be like, yeah, I vote liberal. They love gay people. They love trans people. They love giving money. They're not racist. They're not, which
high bar.
Are sexist, which they actually kind of are in a lot of ways. Like, let's be real here. However, the conception of the NDP usually in people's minds is like, oh yeah, they're kind of weird relic of the times. They somehow survived, or from a conservative perspective, like, oh yeah, they're far left, crazy socialist, communist, and from your leftist, quote unquote leftist friend who likes the liberals, the NDP is like this weird like, yeah, that's like liberal plus. It's like if I'm feeling like extra liberal, I might do NDP.
I mean, honestly, where's the lie though? That's a pretty good descriptor in my opinion. And like as somebody who identifies as a leftist, even like very recently, like so much so as let's say the recent the Manitoba election, which is I think 2 or 3 years ago now. I don't know. For me,
you voted Pallister, right?
Yeah, of course. Though that snaggletooth, God, the second I saw it, I mean, no, I don't want to get on his appearance, but he just
I hate this shit. I'm sorry. If you're gonna make fun of a nasty conservative, fat shame them, face shame them, talk about their speech.
Well,
I'm serious.
I don't know if I can.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
If you,
I don't.
no,
I
I'm
I don't endorse
being hyperbolic,
this.
being hyperbolic a bit, but like I don't know, like on matters of like a snaggletooth, whatever that is, like point it out, like make fun of them. They're rich, they're backed up, they're privileged. Fuck them. Hit them where it hurts. Hit them in the teeth.
In his snaggletooth. Yeah, just Google it. You'll figure it out. But
we make fun of appearances on this show, folks. It's okay. We're ugly. We're privileged to do this.
It's true. Yeah, we understand on a
Why do you think we don't have video?
Level. Yeah, never. You're never getting video from me.
We're so
Mark
ugly,
my
folks.
word. You are never going to see me. But, okay. Yes,
Sorry,
Pallister is ugly. Yes, he is a ghoul. But that's not who this is about. What was I saying?
You're talking about
voting. Yeah. I mean, I feel like calling the NDP liberal plus. Honestly, that resonates with me. And I think even as a leftist, I think a lot of us are trapped with the NDP and seeing it as the only option. And like, we have to vote.
Or the Green Party. Not to take it too far astray, but like a huge amount of like Gen Z, younger millennial folks did vote for the Green Party because they're like, I love the environment. Environment's the only thing that matters.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the environment is very important, but certainly it's not the only thing. And also, the Green Party is shit. Also, I mean, they all are. That's the
Green
point
Party
I'm trying
is
to get at.
See, your conceptions of these parties, we're trying to like rip the mask off. Green Party, it's bad.
Yeah,
the
I'd say
NDP, bad.
center...
Libs, cons are bad. The only good party is the People's Party of Canada. Maxime Bernier's party.
Shout out.
Ooh,
Maxime.
Yeah. He lost his seat in the election, folks.
Couldn't even get his own seat.
What a fucking loser.
Oof. They're still a thing, I think, so that's...
No, he's going to try again because the conservative vote is splintering.
Good for him.
Yeah.
And honestly, if he does split that vote, good on him. Keep at it,
Go at it.
Keep at it. Yeah.
Have a party for every racist thought that Maxime Bernier has.
That's a lot.
A lot of parties.
That's a lot of parties. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that the NDP, and I mean, you said it earlier, Matthew, they're centrist to the core, I think, and very much trying to appeal to the mysterious liberal voter or centrist or undecided voter who's somehow the moderate, yes, thank you, who's like somehow gonna change their ways or come to realization with like the NDP's very mild and inoffensive policies, which is just not a good strategy. It's not how to get power, in my opinion. And I think a lot of us are starting to get really sick of it. I know I am. I know also, though, that there are a lot of people out there who still have hope, which is...
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, this is the thing. Like, we talked about this in our last episode. Aaron O'Toole playing to the center, playing it hard, and the hardcore, like, racist bigots, evangelicals, what are they called? People, nativists, people who want to, you know what nativists mean, right?
Is that like the dinosaurs didn't exist? Is that...
No. Nativist is like anti-immigrant.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, so you have these people who are like screaming at the conservatives because now they're moving to the center, and the NDP is moving to the center, and the liberals, they've erected their fucking capital on the center. It's like, can we have some fucking deviation?
Yeah.
Can we have some fucking choice as an electorate? I don't want every single party to be the same goddamn thing. Stand for something.
Yeah.
You might lose voters, sure. But if you're all moving to the center, the liberals, they're going to give you a great bear hug and say, come on in, because this is what we are.
Yeah.
This is what we've always been. So, I don't know, man. Like, it's...
No, I'm loving the energy.
The NDP... yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the thing is, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, their, what was it? Their recent policy that they proposed with regards to canceling student debt. But actually, there's a big ol' asterisk about, well, it has to be 5 years after you graduate, and it has to be like a household income under $50,000, which if you have more than one person who's not you, and also just like, why are we means testing like this? Like, I think if they just said fucking cancel student debt, that would get way more people on board than like, you have to do this and you might not qualify. So it's frustrating for me too that they keep doing nothing or proposing things, but just like, basically it's liberal bullshit.
And see, this is the thing, with CERB, as much as it was means tested, people still hated the shit out of it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my god, Justin Trudeau's just printing money in the House of Commons, in Riddell Hall, whatever the wherever they live. He's just printing out money and inflation, all this crazy shit. No matter what you do, as long as it's, in the interest of the public, people, conservatives, they're going to take issue with it. So just go whole hog. Just go for it.
Yeah.
If you're going to cancel student debt, fucking cancel that shit. Get it out of there. I have student debt. I love to never pay this shit again. Every month. I'm making fucking less than 20 grand a year rather. A month, I wish. Get this out of here. Get it away. It's not as detrimental as they would like to think. They want to means test it. They want to be like, we're being very smart with our targeting concerning the budget. No, conservatives, freaks, they're going to hate you no matter what you can
stop
do.
trying
so
to
just
appeal
go
to
populist.
Them. What is wrong with
go
you?
Go for the people. Go for the fucking heart, you coward, and do it. I'm sounding like that.
Do it.
Just do it.
Shia
LaBeouf, thank you. But no, honestly, like the cowardice. You're a fucking loser party. NDP has always been third party status, always will be, always has been, always will be, unless you take a stand. Stand for something, you cowards, instead of trying to be liberal plus. It pisses me off. We have a third party in Canada that could actually make a difference, and are just like, but I want to be Trudeau. I want to wear rainbow socks and be accepting of everything and means test everything. You, make a fucking stand. You have nothing to lose. You're on the edge of a cliff anyways. Just jump, man. Just go for it, and you'll fly.
You'll fly, NDP. Are you listening? It could be you. Fly.
Yeah.
Fly.
Stop converging on the fucking center, all right? No one cares about the center except for rich assholes who are happy no matter what happens. They don't care. The system's affecting them positively no matter what happens. So make a radical change. Vote for that radical policy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm ranting now. But
I mean, they're worth the rants, or like propose a radical policy maybe. I know it's quite a controversial take, but yeah, I think I love the energy. I think a lot of us are feeling that, and I think a good thing about the convention is that it will be a good test for them, and it always is, to see what resolutions they pass, what they actually stick to, what they put in their policy book. They're supposed to put everything that passes in their policy book, but actually, the Courage Coalition, which works within the NDP, I think, but they came out with a report looking at the 2018 convention and like what was voted on, and some things that were like overwhelmingly voted for, like universal dental care, drug decriminalization, ban on like profiling by police. Those didn't make it into the NDP policy book.
Absurd. Fucking absurd.
And it was voted for like overwhelmingly. So yeah, there was 29 policy resolutions. I recommend looking it up if you want to see them all, but only 13 were added to the book out of that. And that's going against their own constitution. It's like, if people vote on this, that's the whole point of this. You put it in the book, but they didn't. So what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's, again, I'm sorry for the rant, folks, but like literally, if you look to America, you have the Republicans, the Democrats, and in Democratic circles, you're like, oh, I wish there was a leftist, party that we could actually go to. And in Canada, we ostensibly have that. We have the Conservatives, we have the Liberals, and then we have the NDP. We have our third party, we have our leftists. They've done pretty well, especially in 2011, and they just don't fucking take a stand. I don't get it. I mean, I get it because they want to be, they want to be backed. They're concerned with electoral wins, which fine, okay. But if you're really concerned with that, don't be so fucking cowardly. I won't go on another rant, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think, sorry, were you gonna?
No, I'll just go into another rant. I just, again, the point is the NDP has to make these stances, no matter how radical they are, because no matter what, they lose every year, all right? Or every election, rather. They lose every election, so fucking make a stand. You've got nothing to lose.
All right. So, yeah, again, loving the energy. I think another thing that's good to remember, too, is that it's not just that that the NDP is the way it is because they're trying to appeal to this like mystery voter. I would argue that they're this way because these are the interests that best interest the party and the members of the party. That neoliberalism, that incrementalism that was very well represented in that student debt policy. For them, we have to acknowledge this is a capitalist party. It's not a workers' party. It's not the workers' party that it's supposed to be. And honestly, I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings with the NDP. Like, I do see that there's a lot of young people identified as socialists, either in the party, passionate about the party, trying to pull it left. But for me, I don't really see value in that because time and time again, we're still in this situation. They aren't representing us, and I don't think they will represent us. I don't think there is fixing the NDP, and I think our energy would be spent better organizing locally, organize in your union. Is there something you can do?
Well, here's an interesting dilemma as well, because the NDP actually has quite a big voice in provinces like Manitoba. There are probably other provinces too.
Yeah,
where the NDP is.
Alberta, for sure. And aren't you in BC right now? And
right,
actually,
but that's provincial. That's provincial.
I know, but so is Manitoba, right? Oh, but you're just looking at the... Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like, if people don't vote Conservative, they're going to vote NDP. I should look more into this, but essentially the point is that there are older voters who are, long-time, lifetime supporters of the NDP. And the issue with leftism, or left politics in these days is that you have a kind of split between, younger people who are more focused on issues of identity, representation, anti-racism, anti-bigotry. I'm not saying those are bad things, of course, but you have older voters who they're not as hip to this stuff. They're not as hip to the discourse, and not to say that the discourse is completely fine and without critique, but they're largely focused on worker-focused kind of agenda. They're focused on their bottom line. They're more class-oriented in that sense.
Well, sure, but what I'm saying is that the NDP is absolutely not class-oriented, and it hasn't been for years, maybe even decades.
Right, but I'm saying in the mind of the voters, that's what it represents for a lot of people, especially older voters. Because you have this, not necessarily a split, because I think the two go hand in hand, both identity politics and, worker fairness, justice, equality politics. Like they're not as separate as people like to think they are, but for a lot of people, maybe this is too big a topic to get into, but just essentially, you have the liberal wokeisms that the NDP is also grabbing onto, and that doesn't always. And
that's a distraction. I would say that the main issue is people see, like you said, NDP as the third option. Stop. It's not an option. This is me putting my foot down. Stop trying to pull the NDP left. Stop trying to make it what it isn't. It isn't a workers' party. It doesn't represent people. It doesn't care about class war, class struggle. They don't care about us. And that's going to continue. You know, when they do get in power and looking at provincial politics as an example, like BC with Horgan, you know, they've been John Horgan, yeah, they've been promising all these years, you know, once we get in power, we'll make a change. This is, you know, we just need to get in power. What we're proposing now is pretty mild, but once we're there, it's gonna happen. And not much has changed, right? And I'm saying it's always gonna be that way. We have to recognize as people, the power lies with us. We need to come together. We need to organize. You know, workers have power. People have power. Stop putting your faith in these parliamentary bullshit politics. It sucks. They don't represent us. And yeah, that's my hot take.
Right. And if you're super invested, then the politics around you becomes the party's best interest and not necessarily the principles that should undergird the party.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would argue is far more important than the party itself. And this is a thing you see time and time again with, you know, politicians, members of parties. It becomes all about the party,
yes,
the brand, the electability. You know, it's a classic thing. It happens again and again. The principles get lost, the values get lost, and all that matters is win, win, win. And if you don't stand for anything and you win, good job. You're an empty suit like fucking Justin Trudeau.
Legend.
Yeah, surface level progressiveness. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess, it'll be interesting to see what happens after this convention.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, but not too tightly.
No. Yeah, just keep an eye on it. Don't get your hopes up, but maybe they'll pass some cool stuff. I mean, they did in 2018, even though they didn't put it in the policy book, but that's fine. You know, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Folks, in politics, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you thought about it. It's on paper somewhere. You don't have to actually do it. Don't worry about it.
So, do you have any last-minute thoughts? Anything you want to get off your chest? More rants?
Yeah.
Or a rant, because I ranted.
Yeah, it was mostly you. I don't know if I really ranted. A little bit.
Typical white male.
Yeah. Just asserting yourself in this podcast, speaking over me. God.
Hey,
Typical.
Taylor.
Christ's sake.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I think, you know, we talked about some news today. I don't know how funny it was. Hopefully informative. Maybe a little funny. There's some goofs in there, you know? Yeah, I don't know. You know, the news. We can find the joy in it. We can find the joy in some man collecting like 5 pounds of shit in a bucket, even if he's using it to do something terrible. You know, just that image is enough to just spark something in me. What? I don't know, but that's my takeaway, I think.
Yeah. Should I say this? No, I guess what I really want to get at is that it's so easy to be, you know, quote unquote woke as a leftist and not actually implement any material policies.
Yeah.
Again, that's not to say that these representational or identity issues are not important. They certainly are, and they do have material consequences. But if that's all that you do, if that's all that you stake your name, your party's heart into, that's a bad metaphor, I don't know. But, you know, if that's all you go for, then that's easy. And that's accomplishable, but what does it actually accomplish in people's daily lives? You know?
Yeah.
Make material differences. Universal dentistry, universal pharmacare, universal daycares, UBI, you know, I don't know if that's the right approach, but it's something. It's an actual...
It's popular. It's
an actual policy.
People like UBI.
Get rid of student debt, make approaches into the housing market to make it more affordable, because in Vancouver, fuck man, it's so expensive. It's insane. How does anyone live here?
Well, even,
I do, but barely.
Dude, we're in a housing bubble right now. It's a nightmare. even in all over the country. What the fuck?
I wanted to talk about this, but it was such a big issue that I'm just like, I'll save this. But yeah, no, the housing, like, yeah, you bought a bungalow for like $170,000 in the 1970s. That thing is worth $1.2 million now, and you live in a suburb in Ontario. Dude, like,
living the dream.
Yeah, this bubble certainly won't pop.
No, we're fucked. It's all fucked. You know what?
Look, I don't know anything about finances, but I know enough to say, could be a problem.
I think it is a problem right now. It's not looking good. Yep. And being a renter is also a nightmare. You know what? Just make housing free.
Yeah.
Why do I have to fucking pay to live somewhere? What the fuck?
But Taylor, if I'm under socialism and I want a 20 bedroom mansion, you're telling me I can't get that?
You may not.
Yeah, we will all live in gray slabs with 2 bedrooms, a barely functional kitchen, and a living room.
Yeah, that's
all you
socialism.
need.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. You know, these fucking reality TV shows are like, you know,
At House Hunters? Where are you
yeah,
going with this?
or like the I don't know. But yeah, it's basically like rich porn. It's like, oh my, I wished I lived in a house like that. Oh, and it's like, no. No, a house is where you live, you eat, you shit, maybe have sex, maybe not. You do whatever. Stop commodifying the places that we live in so much. It's insane.
Agree.
Fuck you. You don't deserve a 5 fucking bedroom house if you're an elderly couple in your 60s.
Well,
you're gonna die
leave
soon.
them alone.
No. I'm going after them.
It's not the people we should be getting mad at. It's the systems.
All right. Well, okay. I'm mad at the system as well, but also like,
I mean,
if you're like a 30-year-old yuppie couple with like no kids and 2 dogs in a 6-bedroom house,
we can be resentful towards them, but it doesn't accomplish anything in the end. But I understand your feelings.
I don't care about accomplishing anything. I just want to be mad. This is what a podcast is for.
True.
It's just to let myself be mad.
Good point. Actually, you know what? Continue.
But no, you're right. Of course, the system should be critiqued. Of course, don't get locked. I mean, this is No, I agree.
I'm
but like
on your parade, go off.
This podcast is libidinal. Okay, we're telling you leftists all that you want to hear, and conservatives, if you're still listening, if liberals, if you're still listening, listen all the way to the end. Trip over the like button. Trip over the subscribe button.
Like, subscribe, hit that bell, follow us on social media. Drop your critiques. If you hate us, let us know why. We want to hear.
Yeah. We want to hear your hate. So, Taylor, any more thoughts before I conclude this episode?
That's it. Get me the fuck out of here. Oh, you don't like when I say that?
All right, folks.
Yeah, get out. It's late. I'm ready for bed, ready for my nap. I'm ready. I'm pumped.
Okay. So our next episode, our Peoplekind of Canada episode, will be on Jagmeet Singh.
NDP. Get pumped.
The leader of the NDP, federal NDP party. Yeah, good stuff. Stay tuned. We release episodes every Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday evening. Straight to your eardrums.
Tuesday evening.
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, folks, without fail. You can find us at peoplekindpolitics.com and also on Twitter at PeepKindPolitic, on Instagram at PeopleKindPolitics, and on Facebook also at PeopleKindPolitics.
Share with your friends, please.
Yeah, rate us 5 stars.
5 stars on Apple Podcasts.
Even if you hate us.
Especially if you hate us.
Even if you ain't us.
Especially.
Just give us the 5 stars.
Just do it. You won't regret it. We'll get that sponsorship money. The podcast will get 5 times longer because it's all we have to do anymore. Wow. That's the
is
dream.
Dollar Shave Club a thing? Is that still a thing? I haven't heard that
I
too
see
often
the ads
anymore.
on Instagram. They're out there.
Ooh, Dollar Shave Club.
No, don't say the YouTube algorithm is gonna pick up what we're saying. We can't give them the clicks, man. They can't know.
Fuck you, Dollar Shave Club. Your razors are garbage. I'd rather shave myself with a can of tuna.
Oh, wow. That's
After you open up the lid and you scrape that. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, now I see.
Okay.
It's unpleasant. Thanks.
All right, folks. So this, as always, has been your place for Canadian regurgitation.
When I get back to Calgary, don't say no, sirree, I'm off to Calgary. Oh, what a time there's gonna be in that rompin', stompin', stampede town.
Once I get back to Calgary, you'll have to carry me out of Calgary. You've never seen the likes of me
in that rompin', sloppin', stampede town.
I left Alberta where the weather is sunny to come down east to make a lot of money.
But I can hardly wait
to open up the gate out where my honey lives. When I get back to Calgary, she's gonna marry me back in Calgary. Oh, what a time there's gonna be in that rompin', stompin', clompin',